restore back, or
No, it's fine. I mean, you can if you want, but they're minor changes. It's not gonna matter. Okay, so this part, what I'm going to do is we'll look at management plans. And again, I think this is something that's probably only in the enterprise. If you come down here on the server outside of the database, you'll see way down here there's management. I'm just going to open that little thing with a plus. And inside of that, there's policy management, data collection, manage backup. And what we really want is a maintenance plan. We will look at all this other stuff later, but we're going to just do a maintenance plan. And I think if you click that, there's none there.
So like an automation.
It's something you can automate. Once you've created the plan, you can automate it. So I'm going to start by just running the maintenance plan wizard. Then we'll look at it raw without a wizard, but it's easiest just to do it with the wizard.
It's not like
You know why?
It's the SQL Server agent.
Yes. So I'm just going to start the SQL Server agent. It's at the very bottom.
you have to say yes.
Yes, I do have to say yes.
Now how do you start it?
Just right click on it and say start.
Okay.
Is this a management studio?
Yes. You find it? I don't see a data connection in there. Oh, not Visual Studio, just in the map. Okay, there's the SQL Server agent right there. Just right click on it and start. So we will do more with the SQL Server agent later, but it needs to be running for the management maintenance plans. And now I will do the maintenance plan wizard. And a lot of these, they start with a splash screen. So I'm going to do next.
Where's it to start this?
So under management,
Okay.
down under maintenance plans.
right. And then just keep the name, the default name.
I was just running the wizard. It doesn't have you name it yet, does it?
Yeah, next screen.
Next screen it does.
Oh,
So let's give it a name. I'm going to call this Community Assist Plan or something. I mean, so that it's different than, and it'll be run as a SQL Server service account, single schedule for the entire plan or no schedule. So right now it's not scheduled on demand. I'm going to click on change, but I don't think I'll do this right now. But notice you could make it recurring, and you can set the times and the days for it to run. So I guess we could do that. Today is Thursday. I remember hanging around trying to get these to run at the right time. Thursday, and occurs not at 12 a.m., but what time?
How about 3 p.m.?
3, yeah, 3 might work. So let's run it at 3 p.m. today. The start date is 7/13. And the end date right now there's no end date. So it occurs every week on Thursday and Sunday. Interesting. So, and starting at 7:13. So we have a schedule there now, which means we have to finish this before 3 if we want it to run. Although you can force run at any time, which is actually all I was going to do. I'm going to do next. Did you guys, so that was change. So what we need to do, these are the things that you can do in this maintenance plan. So you can check the database integrity. And what it does is it goes through and makes sure that all the schema are recorded right and all the data is properly stored and etc. So it's good to do that. You could shrink the database, although I wouldn't necessarily advise doing that. You can rebuild your indexes or reorganize them. Let's just rebuild them. And then the other thing that we're going to do is let's do a backup of the database, a full backup. Do we want to back up the log too? I think that's good enough.
Yeah, full, it makes sense.
We could, I guess we could back up the log too. So basically when I do next, it just shows me the jobs that I have. And then we have to do some setup for some of these jobs. So are we doing it, what database are we doing it for?
Community assist.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to do it with Community Assist. And it has a list of all the databases that aren't all in the window. You could, if you wanted, do this for all databases too. So it doesn't have to be a specific one, but I'm going to do OK. Next. So this is the rebuild index task. So once again, I have to choose Community Assist. I think I can just leave all the defaults. And do next. So it's going to do tables and views. It's going to rebuild the indexes. I could send it to results in TempDB. We could keep the index online while indexing. And then if we do that, then it tells you that you have some other options. Basically, some indexes don't support online rebuilding. For those, don't rebuild or rebuild offline. It's your choices. All right, this is the backup. So it's a full backup. Databases, again, we just choose Community Assist. We're going to back up to disk. We need to set the destination. And I think,
Where do you, let's see.
what?
Thank you.
So it's back up to database, specific database I need to do, yeah, it's Community Assist. It's a full, go back up to disk. Destination to across one or more files, and then add. And it, we could go to backups here.
That's what I did.
That's what it looked like. I know.
So I went to backups. It's going to a different, the default folder.
So I need to browse.
So you can browse to that, or you can send it to the default folder if you want.
Under data.
I did
Oh,
add.
see.
I did add, and then I did the 3 dots, and then I went to backups. I actually just selected that for the file name and did OK, and OK. Yeah, all right. It's already selected. That's what it was complaining
How do
about.
you get it to, did you drag it to the file?
I didn't really, I just
Just
clicked.
copy and paste it.
Open up the mouse one. Yes.
Oh, that's Metro.
So you could just give it a name, just type in a name, and maybe assist back.
It should be.
Did you go?
Did you say append or
Next.
override?
We could append it or overwrite. So actually, since it's a full backup, let's say overwrite.
You just keep working, pressing next for previous ones.
Yeah, so,
Or then just specify the
okay, so we specified the database. Are there any options that we want there? This is the same one, so you can set up a backup, that the backup will expire. You can make a copy only. You can verify the backup and integrity if you want. You can also encrypt the backup. It's not encrypted, but we can verify its integrity.
When it says verify its integrity, does that mean like check the hash of it, or?
It's basically like a checksum.
Okay.
Make sure that it's the right size and that it didn't get corrupted. Oh, this is for the log.
Override or append? Sorry.
It doesn't matter to me, but I did override. So this is a backup transaction log task. So we're backing up the transaction log. So I'm going to select Community Assist again. Each task could have a different database, I guess. Back up to disk. So I'm going to go into the destination, files, add. And I'm going to do the same one that we did before. Up here, see backups. Now I don't have the log. This is for the log file, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is log. I don't know if that's a good idea. And let's.
If you do all files, you might see a log.
Oh, you might. But it was a community assist log that I did.
Yeah.
So that'll be all right.
Are you verifying that one?
We could. So I think that's everything there. We could have a write a report to a text file. Where is it going? It's going right now to MSQL log. I don't know that I can do I need just I don't know if the thing requires. Okay, an email report we could talk about some other time. We will do a thing where we try to set up the email. Next, shows me all these things. I'm going to do finish. And it says that it succeeded in doing all of these. So I'm going to close. Now it says it'll run at 3, but let's force it to run before then, 2. So I'm going to refresh on the management level. And in the maintenance plans, we now have a community assist plan. And one of the things that I want to do is you can force it to execute. We'll also wait and see if it runs at 3. But
It will like display a pop-up at 3 saying like, hey, maintenance plan executed.
yeah, it says it has succeeded.
Yep.
And if you look, there's a report. You can do a view report. It's not much of a report, but there is that. There's also, if you right click on it, there's a view history, which gives you a little bit more information. And if you click the little plus, it gives you a little thing on each of the subjobs for the history. And let's see if under backup. So if I go to C, backups, I don't see a log file.
Maybe that's
My log file.
Maybe it uses that text document, might be it.
Maybe.
I don't have.
No,
I didn't get the log either.
I wonder, but you did get a log?
Oh, no, I didn't get the report, I got the log.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't get.
I wonder why I didn't get the log. I want to show you what this, I'm going to double click this plan. And show you what it looks like when it's not in the wizard.
I think the log is with the text file.
What?
The text file is a log file.
Yeah, is it?
Because when you see the report, it says it created community system.log.
Right.
That's the only file that the back.
Oh, so there is a,
So it's basically a log file is like actually custom, shown as a text file, I think.
right, it would be a text file. Let me look. Oh, yeah, because there's a community assist text file.
It's a log, but
But
it's
that's not it.
available with the notepad. It should be.
So we could look. So there's server logs. But I don't think I can get to anything. These server logs are kind of interesting, actually. When you're troubleshooting, everything that it does is recorded in these logs.
I got the log transaction.
You did? In your,
Backup. Yeah.
it's
See,
not-
it's got
I
SQL
have a
server
feeling.
transaction.
All right, so this is what the plan looks like, and in a minute we'll build one from scratch. Try to. Notice it has check database integrity, rebuild index, backup database, the green arrows. Some of you that were in the morning will recognize sort of the structure of that. If I go down, build a backup database log. Each one of these, if I double click them, opens up the property window for them. So like backup database would have the whole backup database thing. So we'll build another one of these from scratch, not using the wizard, although the wizard is easy, so generally I'd probably use the wizard. What? So I double clicked the community assist plan. This is what the plan actually looks like, and you can have sub-plans, go here. Let's close this one and make a new plan, and see if this one will run, because I don't think it'll run when it's open. About 15 minutes, should have set it even sooner, I guess. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to right click on maintenance plans, and I'm going to do a new maintenance plan. What database do I want to do this on? Yeah, we could do AdventureWorks. So let's do AW. maintenance plan. Okay, so this is it, bare. Now there's a toolbox, right? If you look over there, there's a toolbox. If you don't have the toolbox, you could do view toolbox. So if I wanted to do a what was it, check database integrity task like we did before, I could just drag it on there. I can double click it. Local server, we can choose our database. AdventureWorks. I think that's all I have to do. It's interesting, it has view T-SQL. So you can look at the SQL for that. I'm not sure why it still has a, oh, okay. So there it is, it's set. You're not getting the toolbox, or you found it?
Okay.
You can pin it if you want to keep it there.
Well, how do I start?
Did you select a database for this? Oh,
Okay.
So what I did, let me kill this and we'll start it over. So I went down to maintenance plans. I right clicked and I said new maintenance plan. I named it AW maintenance plan. Okay. So the toolbox is over to the side. It originally showed up like that. So that it's just that. So from the toolbox, which I'm going to pin so that it's there, I'll unpin this so that I'm going to bring over, I think I was just going to do pretty much what we did before. It was basically database integrity check. So I just drug that on here. And then I double clicked it and I selected AdventureWorks from the list. And then I do OK, and it gives me that.
Uh-oh,
What?
can't find it.
Did you maybe not get it installed? You could do a different database. I don't care. Anything. I mean, ultimately, MetroAlls is what you're doing for the assignment. I just wanted to show you two ways to build this. And then I'm going to bring in, let's just do like just what the other one did, rebuild index. So I'm going to drag the green arrow down so that just says that this task happens before this one. I'm going to collect that. I'm going to do AdventureWorks. And we can look at the different options, but mostly I'm going to just say OK. And then let's do a backup task. And I'm going to back it up, full backup. The database will be AdventureWorks. So we need to do disk, destination. I'm going to go again to just the backups folder. I've never backed this up, so I'm going to say AdventureWorks. What is the AdventureWorks database name? Is it 2014? .back. Okay. If you want, you could do options such as verify. Okay. And I don't know if it has a log, but let's
You do the backup task and then there's a
log.
down.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to move it over here. Backup type, differential or log. So we'll do log, AdventureWorks. AdventureWorks is in here. I think so we'll just cancel this one. delete it. I know why. It's because AdventureWorks is probably there on a simple rather than a full backup. This is probably good enough. And then I'm going to hit the schedule. And it's not 3 yet. Let's see about this one running at 250, yeah. And for Thursday, and starting today, and we'll do okay.
I think it was and.
What?
I think you had it and. Instead of PM.
2:50 a.m.
Oh, yeah, let's change that to PM. All right, and then do okay. And then I'm going to save this. Is there a save here? Add subplan, plan properties. I need to save it before. Save selected items. So I think it's saved. I'm going to close it. And let's see if it runs in the next minute.
Oh, it's 250.
It's whatever, yeah, the time on the computer. So mine says 2:49 still.
Mine says 2:50.
Yeah.
Something come on.
No, I think what we'll have to do is at like 2:50, you know, like a second later. We could look at, I'm going to refresh here. So I have the two of them, and I'm going to right click and view history.
Oh, it did.
And it ran.
Yeah, mine ran. Like 3 seconds.
Yeah. So mine ran. Took less than a second for mine. And I think if we look at the third, the other one will run again at 3. So you can look at your jobs, you know, that are running, that have run. So you can look at a job history. You can look at when the SQL Server agent, these are logs for the SQL Server agent. You can look at database mail, but we don't have any mail. I'm not sure what it's looking at. So you can select which things to look at. This is basically an interpretation of the logs, I guess. So that's a basic maintenance plan. And we'll talk about more later where we get much more complete control over different things. But it's kind of neat. I'm still waiting until 3. Probably should have set that before 3.
Oh,
Yeah, mine worked.
mine didn't.
What, did it have an
It
error?
didn't run. It didn't run on schedule.
Huh. What time did you set yours for?
2:51.
Huh. Did you have it saved and put away before then?
Oh, and put away. That's it then.
I think if it's open and if it's not saved, it won't run. So while I'm waiting for 3, let me go back to the next assignment. And again, it's a pretty simple assignment, and we'll be done for the day on that one. Maintenance plans. just use a wizard to create a database maintenance plan. You should run a backup of Metro Alt every day at 2:30. You should also check database integrity and rebuild indexes. You can set the options and just take a snippet tool to show the successful completion. Except we don't have the snippet tool, so whatever.
Well, actually, thought that if you just put it in like partial full mode from this, you can
Oh,
use
you get the snippet tool from
when
down
it's
below,
Or
yeah.
you can do just
The
take a
screenshot.
That's how I do.
paste it
Do you
into.
want us to use the wizard or the?
It's entirely up to you. If you want to have more fun, it's slightly more fun to not use the wizard, but the wizard, you get the same results.
More fun. You do have an odd idea about what's fun.
Yeah, I realize that. To me, it's almost always more fun to do it manually.
So is there like a best way to run the maintenance or?
So once you've scheduled it, so again, one of the things that we're not doing is getting this overarching plan. How often do you need to back things up? What kind of maintenance do you want to run, and at what schedule do you want to run it on? I mean, you'd have to think those things through, and it varies depending on how you set up your database and what you're doing with it, and what kind of concurrency and busyness you have. It would be better to do it in a low volume time. It doesn't take the database offline, but if you have a lot of stuff going on, it could be. The other thing that's in the community assist plan that we didn't, I mean, not community, but any of these plans, you notice there's an execute SQL statement. So beyond the tasks that they have here, if you had stored procedures that you wanted to run at a regular basis, or just any kind of SQL code you wanted to run regularly, you could execute the stored procedures on schedule as well. So a stored procedure that might be good is you could check, say you had a retail store, you might check daily to see what bills were overdue, and how overdue they are. And you could possibly even use this to send out emails. Or generate a list anyway. Yeah. I mean, it would be, so literally when you can say anything you can put into a stored procedure, you could basically execute on a schedule. So anything that makes sense to run on a periodic basis. And there's other things you can do too that we'll get to later that actually can be added. We're not going to do them right now, but under the SQL Server agent, there are alerts, operators. You can alerts are basically you can send out a text message to somebody's phone. And to do that, you have to define your operators. So who's responsible for the database at 2 in the morning? And so you define your operators, you define your alerts, and you define to do that you need to do your database name and things too. 3 minutes, and then the other one should run. I could have reset the time. And that's it for the day. Just do one like that for Metro Alt, however you want to do it. Next time we'll look at monitoring what's going on in the server.
Which one's a log? Which one is toolbar again?
Of which?
The wizard.
The wizard?
Yeah, on the wizard there's mine. My language is so light. It's hard to understand.
See you later, David.
It's a log. So from the toolbox. Which one's the log? Take the logs.
Oh, I don't know if any of these takes. So I think. Was it the database? I'm not sure where the log. Was it? It wasn't check database integrity, was it?
So what do we take a snapshot of?
So ideally, it'd be something like. I'll look in a moment for the logs. So if you did like the history of one of these, let's do AW. Look at the history. Something like this would work just fine. That's a good, I mean, that actually shows that it's run. The other thing you could do is just when you finish the wizard, it has check marks for all of that. That would also work.
If I want to go back in, I forgot to schedule it.
Just double click it,
Double click on
the plan.
Okay, refresh.
And then the scheduling is Yeah.
On the campus submission, it says, for the maintenance plans, it says, keep in mind this submission will count for everything.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, that's what I thought,
I don't know why. I must have accidentally clicked on group. But when I did the assignment, but it's not a group assignment. So you're the only person in your group.
Okay then. Yeah, good
Shouldn't be.
It says no either.
I don't want to modify it.
So you just need to do integrity rebuild index.
Yeah, basically, and back.
Backup index.
If you want to do other stuff, you're always welcome. So I just,
Which has like the one that you get rid of. Big
yes.
statistics.
Oh,
Is that necessary to be?
you don't have to do that. You can.
Okay, so where did he say?
Once you've completed the wizard,
I'm
and it
not
says like
sure like
success.
which wizard that
Right
we use.
here?
Yeah, that.
It's good to use for this kind of database.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just to do things like, just make sure everything's okay and make, so like you're doing a daily or twice daily check. Backups, I mean, depending on how busy your database is, you might want to back it up every hour. You might want to back it up even more. So mine ran at 3, like it was supposed to.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah,
Since I went in and edited the wizard, I don't have that little success.
you could do
Can I
this
just-
one. I mean, you could do this screen. And if you don't set it on the timer, you can just do, this is the history.
Oh, okay.
So if you right click on a plan and do view history, and then if you click the little pluses like that,
Little,
there's a little plus beside the
so
history.
just open
Yeah.
the.
That's actually perfectly fine, and
Okay.
probably better.
Hey, see you later.
See
Have a
ya.
good birthday.
Thank you.
Is today your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Well, happy birthday.
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And that's working. So it's connected, I don't know what's going on campus, because everybody else looks to be.
Okay, so maintenance plans are done working every day, right?
That's it for, no, that's it for today.
Okay.
And that's on video, so I will.
Firefox.
So where do you see the log?
Okay, I'll look here in a second. Let me stop the video.